Hello, everybody, and welcome to another tier list on the channel. I know I said I wasn't going to do another one of these for a while, but then I realized moving is difficult, and I need a fun video that I don't need to spend a ton of time on for you guys to enjoy during the moving process. So this is recorded well in advance, but I've decided to have a tier list go ahead and be put out for you. If you want to go check out some of these videos because you haven't seen them before and I rank them rather high or low, of course, they're on the channel. Just go to where I live on YouTube and sort by most popular, which it does by default, and you'll see all of them. So, you know, just hit the channel button. From proud, good, decent, whatever, and trash. I'm going to be rather hard on myself because I don't like most of the videos that I make. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my most popular video. That would be my Witcher Netflix, what you need to know before you watch. This one got caught up in the algorithm. It's really the first time this has happened to me, and just spat out in front of a whole lot of people who had never even seen the channel before. So if you're here from that video, hi, how are you? Thank you for subscribing. Comment section there is quite different than my normal comment section because it's not my little bubble, and it's a lot of people just like, oh, I didn't need this before I watched The Witcher, and I'm like, why'd you watch it? All right, this one I'm gonna put in decent. I wish I'd spent more time explaining certain aspects of the Witcher world. I think I did an okay job with the stuff I did include, but there was definitely more information for the show, especially around the timeline. I probably could have explained a bit better, but hey, it got caught up in the YouTube algorithm, and I'm not gonna go ahead and complain about that now, am I? Next up, we have ranking every fantasy series. This is flat out trash because one, I'm not ranking every fantasy series I'd even read to that point. Two, I've read drastically more than I had read at that point by now. This is almost a year ago. And three, I don't even agree with most of these rankings anymore. I don't know. I'm constantly evolving and changing my opinions. Like, I've never claimed to be the end-all be-all of fantasy knowledge, and this video like really displays that. And I still get comments to this day from people who are like, it's not every fantasy series. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should change the title. But yeah, I don't love that one either. Now we're going to go into The Wheel of Time, mythology/history explained, spoiler free. This was my most popular video, most viewed one by a lot for a long time. And it's the first video I ever made I was genuinely proud of. I actually am proud of that video. I think I did a good job. And it's like the first one I ever like put places and was like, here, I made a thing. And I didn't feel like any embarrassment by that. Spoiler warning about being a YouTuber. A lot of them are embarrassed by their own videos, and it takes a long time to get over that insecurity. Okay, why you should read The Wheel of Time. It can't be proud because it was before I realized the camera doesn't need to be this close to my face all the time, and I hate every video now that I had it so up close. It was pretty good. I think I'll go ahead and put this in good. I mean, it must be from the number of people who have commented and gone from there to then pick up The Wheel of Time, so I was at least fairly convincing. So I'm proud of that, I guess. But I'll leave it in good, though, because I kind of cringe looking at it, if I'm being honest. My interview with Brandon Sanderson, obvious proud. Like, it's a highlight of the channel, highlight of my career as a YouTuber. I'm very happy he was willing to come on and give me his time and talk about The Wheel of Time like he did. And it meant the world to me as a content creator and Wheel of Time fan to be validated in such a way. And it's still something I can't really entirely believe that happened. How you should start reading Stephen King. I don't have many issues with this one. I think I'll just leave it in good. Definitely above the why you should read The Wheel of Time. Because I like talking about my Stephen King nerdism, and the fact that one of my Stephen King videos took off to the point where it's near the top of my channel makes me really proud. Because that just means, hey, I probably convinced a lot of people to start reading him, and I did that author justice, because he's very misconstrued. Like, a lot of people view him weirdly. Stephen King's brilliant, and you should read his books, and if you haven't seen that video, I recommend you do. Next up, top 10 fantasy series of all time, 2019 update. Just gonna throw that in whatever. Again, I wasn't nearly as well read in fantasy back then, and I'm still becoming a better read fantasy boy day by day. Right? People constantly are like, oh, like you haven't read that? Oh my god. You guys have to realize, like when I started this channel, it was a Wheel of Time focused fantasy channel because I had read that and like maybe 10 other fantasy series. This journey hasn't been like me being an established voice on fantasy. This channel is about me learning and growing and trying to become like an expert fantasy fan. So if you have the expectation that like I'm that now, I'm not. I'm just having fun and nerding out with my boys and girls in the crowd, in the audience. That's what we're here to do before reading The Wheel of Time. This one took off really a lot more than I expected it to. I thought people were going to be going through like Wheel of Time burnout fatigue here. But I remember this one being pretty good. I did have the guy who I thought that was just like a map that was free use from like, oh, it was just part of the publication stuff, but it wasn't. So the guy who made that map reached out to me, and I quickly promoted him on the channel. I was like, I'm sorry I didn't get permission first. But yeah, that was a good video. First time I've ever had an artist reach out and be like, hey. And I was like, oh, sorry. I did him justice. So I'll go ahead and put this right there as well. Why is Terry good kind of controversial? Anything that's got like drama in it like that, I can't love. I'm annoyed by any time I have to do that, but I also wanted to make the piece on it. So I'm just gonna put it at the top of decent, because I don't ever want to go back and watch that as like a highlight of me as a person, but I get why it's very entertaining for a lot of other people. Sword of Truth, blistering review. This is one of the ones that gave me my first huge wave on YouTube, and it's probably one of the best reviews I've done in terms of just thoroughly covering my thoughts and opinions. I'll go ahead and put that probably low good. Oops, that's not what I meant to. Low good. It's certainly caused memes to come about that have haunted me ever since. Next up, we have Top 10 Fantasy Series 2020 update. I think I did a lot better job this time representing my thoughts and expressing myself. I did rank a couple things a little too high. I feel like mainly like Poppy War, because I was conflating in my head like my respect for what the author's doing to my actual enjoyment. But there's some people where it's like, yeah, I don't think it's the best thing ever. Like Poppy War has extremely weak prose, for example. But I still respect the story being told so much, so I brought it high. But if it's going to be a bit more objective, it probably should have been a bit lower. I don't know, especially because the first book is weaker and the second book really takes off. But yeah, there's a few things that I kind of regret. I'll just put it at the top of decent. I don't like doing top 10 stuff in the good and proud. I get why they're popular, and they're informative for me to do, and they're important to do every now and then, but I don't want to put them in good or proud yet. Why you should read Stormlight Archive? I barely remember even doing this video. I don't think, if I remember correctly, I don't think I did a thorough enough job in my head. So I'm just going to drop that probably right there and move on. Top 10 fantasy series of all time. This is back when I thought I was well read in fantasy, because I didn't even realize how big it was, and I hate this video and it's bad, so I'm going to put it there. 5 quintessential science fiction books. Okay, why did this video blow up? Why is it one of my most viewed on the channel? That is mystifying to me, because I was like 3 a.m. in the morning, something like that. I couldn't sleep, and I just had all these like sci-fi books that I loved tumbling and rumbling around my head. And I was like, you know what? Well, I can't sleep. I'm just going to quickly record in one take my thoughts on this. And people just dug it. People were just all about that, and I still have no idea why. But yeah, apparently you guys really wanted to know some sci-fi recs. So yeah, this is the one that kind of inspired me to go more into sci-fi here on the channel. It's why we have Expanse, and a few more other sci-fi books being reviewed. And I guess I'm proud of it because of how much it resonated with my audience, but I still don't want to put it too high, because it was a very much so like, here are my thoughts. So I'll just put it at the top. No, I'll put it right there. Stephen King Multiverse Explained. This one has like a pretty high dislike ratio for me and quite a few criticisms, because people, I should have somehow communicated better that I wasn't going to go in and like explain every connection of the Stephen King multiverse. I just wanted to explain what it was as concept. And unfortunately, if I put Stephen King Multiverse Explained, a lot of people are like, why didn't you explain any of the actual connections? You're just explaining that there is a multiverse and hinting at things to come. And it was because I was more nervous about spoilers back then, but I get why that frustrated some people, and I definitely think that's valid criticism, and I should redo this video. So I'm just gonna put it top of whatever, because I like it for some reasons, but I get that a lot of people didn't for others, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Classic versus modern fantasy. I really like this video. I think I did a pretty good job, but apparently it was a tipping point for me continually talking about classic and modern fantasy, because I've seen multiple people on Reddit or YouTube and other comment sections saying like all Daniel can do is talk about classic and modern fantasy. I think that conception comes about because in a lot of my more popular videos that do go off, that happens to be touched upon or is just relevant to the topic I'm covering. I even briefly touched on it in a recent video, like Fantasy Tropes, that's doing quite well. So I think valid. Like I think that I do talk about it a lot, and I need to, that's kind of why I made this video actually. I just wanted to have one place where I can fully state all my thoughts and not have to ever dive in it super in depth again. It's kind of like how when I did my recent anime review of Attack on Titan, I got all my criticisms of the animeisms out of the way so that then when I review season 2, I don't have to do that again. I can just say like, same criticisms as season 1 for this stuff, but let's move into the meat of season 2. Same basic concept. But I still like this video. It was a lot of fun, and it's one of the best utilizations of the green screen I ever did, and it was early on. So I'm going to put it in good. I think this is a good video from me. I think it's pretty good. I'll put it top of good. Yeah, I like this video. Some people may be frustrated with me continually bringing this stuff up, but I'm happy with it. Wheel of Time cast announced. Love it. Wish I had spent more time on it. So when you cover news, you inevitably have this rush that's like, I need to get this out now, because you know if you, as a big fan, don't, IGN or something like that, or some big conglomerate that doesn't have a soul or a connection to the fan base, is going to put something out, and the algorithm will put their video first and just drown everyone else out. So I was very afraid of that and kind of rushed out this video, and it's also one of those ones that's a little too close. So I don't love this video because of that, but I also love this video because it was like the day that the Wheel of Time show felt so real. Like so real. So I don't know, I love it for that. I guess that's more the circumstances around it. So it has flaws. I'll put it in the middle of decent, right there. But just know, in terms of like videos I'm excited about in my catalog, that is one of them, because that's like a part of a history of a grander thing going on. Best fantasy books of the decade. This would be so much higher if I hadn't made one mistake. I put this together, I put it up, and I recorded this. And during editing, I was like, oh, I said the name of just the last Gentleman Bastards book. That was a mistake, because I was editing the day after I recorded it. I was like, I need to put the name of the first one. So I went in, and you can actually hear me dub over the original, like the actual name of Gentleman Bastards, instead of the first one, Lies of Locke Lamora, rather than the third book. And that actually means it came out the decade before last, which sucked. And that means my top 10 books of the decade has a book from the previous decade in it. And I hate that. And a author of note pointed that out to me very quickly on Twitter, and that ate my soul a little bit. I hate mistakes that are that glaring, and I make a few. Like, I flub words, I say stuff like that, but that is a big one. That is a big one right there. So it would be something higher up, but because of that, I have to like lower it down to like top of whatever, because it's like, this huge flaw. Did I ADR or did I re-record? I might have re-recorded, I'm not sure. My YA one, this is definitely going to be one that I go up and proud, because not only do I think I really stated my thoughts very clearly, but a vast majority of the YA people who read that really seemed to understand where I was coming from, and the fact that I clearly framed it and took effort to say, like, this is just my experience. I'm not trying to speak for the reality of YA. I'm just saying this is how someone from the outside can view things. And I think people really understood that part of it and were more respectful as a result, and I just kind of appreciated that. And I've had more of a YA leaning audience since then. I had a big growth from that video. And, I've been more rewarded for giving books like Six of Crows a try, even though I didn't love that book. People went into that review, I feel like, just to see my perspective as an outsider. And I've even had people who are diehard fans say, like, we get your perspective, and I get why they love it. So I just like this video because it started a conversation that I'm still glad is happening now on the Discord server, in the comment section, with me on Twitter even. Granted, there were crazy people who tried to, like, say I was racist and sexist for this video, which it's really wrong to insinuate that minority authors can only write YA, which is what you're doing. Next video, Game of Thrones versus the Wheel of Time. I barely remember making this. I don't even know what the outcome is anymore. I think I did an okay job. I don't remember any problems with it. I kind of need to maybe go back and rewatch my own video. I thought I'd like confidently know all these, but now I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, I don't know this. I'm gonna put it right below here in whatever, because if I don't remember it that well and it's a video I made, it must not be that notable. Fantasy subgenres explained. This one is just like a utility video because so many people were saying so many things that are misconceptions about certain subgenres, so I literally went to like authority sources and got the definitions and put them in this video. I think there was one or two small mistakes that people pointed out, but yeah, this is a good video. Not super fun, but it was just a nice, okay, here are the definitions, here's what they are, and here are examples. That's good. And I'll probably put it in the middle of whatever, because again, it's not something I'm like eager to run back to. Wheel of Time Sucks response. Again, it's a drama video, which immediately, not drama, but like a criticism video that's not critical of a work. It's like a YouTube thing, so that immediately brings it down because I don't enjoy doing that. I saw the guy's response video. I still don't think he got the point of me being like, hey, don't lie about veterans. That's not cool. But he seems like a nice guy. I got no problem with him. But I whatever for me, because I don't like talking about that stuff. I just felt the need to make it. I made it because I felt the need to, but I'm not super hype on it. Fantasy protagonist tier list. If I was making this tier list video a while ago, I'd put this higher. But ironically enough, I'm having tier list burnout. I'm tired of them, and seeing like half of BookTube doing them all the time now makes them a bit tedious. So I'm just gonna put this in a whatever as well. I'm not super hot on this. I'll put it right there because it was fun. I remember having fun with it, so I'll put it like right there. How not to take criticism. Man, I'm still so mad about this that I'm still so mad about this. I don't care that it's kind of a drama thing. I stick by the level of anger I had. This was the dumbest thing ever. The fact that a university had to apologize because one of their students had an opinion. Are you kidding? Oh, that hurts still. I hate that. I hate that. I think this is a good video because I'm still that mad. I still think this is an embarrassment to the author community who was involved in this, and I should have gone even harder. I should have been even more harsh on the things I said, because they certainly were harsh on innocent students who were just expressing opinions and how they attacked those students. That's just my thoughts on that. So let's go ahead and go through and see if I want to reorganize these. No, this is like the proud is in the right order here. The good's in a good order here. I'm fine with this. Decent. Kind of want to bring the official casting up and put that a little higher there, because like I love everything that video is about and involved with that video. I just don't love how I made that video. It's not the quality I wanted for that, because that feels like it's a hallmark of the channel. It's like a moment for the community, and I didn't bring my A game, so that sucks. But yeah, aside from that, I know, let's bring this up. Let's bring that there. Because it's my #1 video, right? Let's bring this a little higher. This is a good boy. This is a good boy video. And there's not a whole lot of flaws here, so I'm going to bring that a little higher too. God, this would be so much higher if it wasn't for that one flaw where I got called out hard, and I still hate it. I still hate my best fantasy books of the decade video because that one big flaw. But aside from that, yeah, this seems all fine. And then these two are definitely the trash. Those two are definitely the trash of this. So that is my thoughts on my most popular videos. I will leave a link for this tier list in the description down below, and you can go ahead and fill it out yourself. Post your ranking in the Discord server, or at me on Twitter and let me know what you think of these most popular videos from me. I think it's like my most popular 24. But like and subscribe if you've not already. Hit the Patreon if you want to support what I do here. And have a good one, y'all. I hope you're staying safe, happy, and healthy. And I seriously care about and enjoy my audience, and I'm very excited to get set up in a new apartment and share this next phase of my life with y'all. Peace.